I was trying to do the interviews after the match, and you know the way it goes into this full screen? I can't get out of it.
Oh. Well,
I can get mine.
Well, maybe you're just an old man that doesn't know how to work technology.
Shut up, you're going to ruin it. Yeah.
So you travelled from Mullingar today then, did you?
No, I live in Rathmines.
Oh, you live in Rathmines, that's great.
Well, I do for another month anyway.
So that's just a couple of buses then, is it?
Just one. I just walked to O'Connell Street.
What did you get? Did you get the 4 line?
I'll put that down. Sorry, 4 wasn't it?
Oh, I got the 4. We were on my bus.
No. Nah, Harley, you
arrived
like
right
10 minutes before,
Are we getting closer to that?
Yeah, sure. We've actually, with a few interviews we've done, we've literally placed it in the middle of a desk and we're all kind of spread around the room, and it still manages to capture.
It's good, isn't it?
Voice is great.
It's
not the most professional setup in the world, but
we're trying to get a Zoom. We're in the middle of trying to get a sponsor, which is very, very fucking hard. And we're trying to get a Zoom recorder for ourselves because a lot of the time the studio is actually in use when we get our interviews.
Yeah.
So
we're very much playing around obviously our guest schedule because that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
So we can't really book a studio for a certain time because there's obviously shows going on all the time. Yeah. It's literally 9 to 10 o'clock. There's shows on, so we can't really get in there most of the time.
Yeah.
It was grand last week. We did a couple of interviews in the studio last week because the schedule hadn't been put up yet, so the studio was up and running, but nobody was using it, so it was grand. But we've had to come into.
This what to be just ballsy about. Get someone around or fucking anything. Even get the hub. There has to be some sort of down there to sponsor you, and then you can every week.
We've made a few connections, but it's just
it's trying to prove our numbers and stuff.
Yeah, that's impossible. Not impossible. We can prove our numbers in the
to a degree.
To a degree. Yeah.
Are you on SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Yeah. SoundCloud, but we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on basically all major podcasting platforms. So we just need to really sell it now to the.
And Gav's got a new camera, so our idea is we want to put an actual video to the audio, so we thought it was hard to get people to sit down and actually just
we were looking at branching out into YouTube, so that's still a hope, but the whole
our first one didn't go that well. Gav brought the camera, we set it up lovely and everything, we got the angles right, we spent 20 minutes trying to get it right, grand. Gav went and pressed record, but sure, he's a new camera, so he actually pressed
they're very difficult to stop.
He pressed the actual camera or the photo
yeah.
button, but not the video record button.
Two different buttons.
And so then even when we got it right, we had an interview there on Thursday evening, and the camera only recorded about half an hour, and the interview itself was an hour and 20 minutes.
Whatever resolution you have, it's still half an hour.
It's no good really.
How long is your podcast usually?
We say an hour. It depends on the guest. We've had interviews run into 90 minutes before. We've had interviews be 40 minutes. It's all about how much you talk, Conor. So
I talk a lot, man.
That's grand. We have the room until 3:00. It's 1:30 on the dot now. So
I think fuck it. Let's just dive in and we'll have a crack with it.
We'll get straight in. So, in case anybody still doesn't know, this is still in conversation with myself, Colm, and my co-host Gavin and Greg. And today we have a very talented man, I would say, lads. A man of many voices.
Quite a few.
But he's also from Mullingar.
But I'm a former DCU student.
He is a former... So that's another redeeming factor. Today we have Conor Moore, a.k.a. Conor Sketches. How the hell are you, Conor?
Very, very good.
Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for coming up all the way from Rathmines, not Mullingar, but Rathmines.
I always say Mullingar.
Yeah. We'll edit it and say that you arrived from Mullingar. And funnily enough, as Gav was coming from Cabra, himself and Conor managed to be on the same bus.
Yeah, just.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was on the same bus. I seen him from behind. I was like, is that Conor? Is it? Nah, really? And then I kind of looked around and was like, oh shit, it is. Okay, I better say hi.
I you walking in the game.
He was actually been stalking you since round one.
But yeah, so as we always start our shows, I asked the guest what was the thought when I approached them with the interview. So what was your thought when I threw an email towards you asking you to be on the show?
I know, it's just really nice and respectful or something.
I have
to. You put a lot of thought. I read it. I get all these all the time. You have to say no to most things, because or else you're just walking around doing stuff
all the time,
free stuff for nothing. Even I get inundated with emails, and some of me just I don't know. Some go to my agent, some go to me. That one came to me, and it was just I was reading it, and I was like, you know what? I used to be a college student, and I saw myself in you.
Oh, look at that.
Were you that polite?
You were polite. You were like respectful. It was like, you know.
And then your reply was like, "Oh yeah, man, sounds class."
I
was like, "This line is so casual."
as well. And I was like, "Here, Colm, tone it down a bit there."
Because like whenever if I interview like,
no, I think I wrote back, "I love it, man," or something. Because you were describing it to me and all, and you were selling it to me, and I was like, yeah, like that fella put effort into that. Usually, I just get you up here. Look, we're doing this. Can you do that? And I'm just. You know, you try to do as many things. Like I like doing things like this, especially like you're obviously like in need of no budget and everything else. So it's like,
yeah, well, like
we've got a fat budget.
Yeah, Greg is going to pay you out of his own pocket for this interview.
Say so.
I hope not a Tony McGregor situation.
The
coinage, yeah.
Right. Actually, I have a question.
Yeah,
just while we're touching on that,
yeah,
Conor, if it had been an invite from Trinity FM or whatever they call themselves, or UCD FM. Wouldn't have had the same effect, would it?
If it was written like that, yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, gee, well, I'm not doing that because it was DCU or it's not DCU or anything like that. I don't know. Like if I was back in college, I love what you're doing. I wish I did things like this, but I was like one of those idiots that thought like getting drunk was the only thing you did.
What did you study when you were here?
Business.
Oh, of course you did.
So I assume that.
So I put no thought into that either.
Yeah. So coming out of secondary school, you just didn't really know what you wanted to do, and business just.
What happened was I came out of secondary school and I got 300 points in my leaving cert, and I remember like I was fishing during most of it. Like we went drinking on a Tuesday because we had the Wednesday off. We got cans, went down the canal line, me and my mates. Like I just didn't care for school at all, and I was always messing and stuff. And I left and went to AIT to do construction studies. And I was down there for about 3 months, and I was like, what the fuck have I done here? I was like, and actually what really happened was I went on one night out up in Dublin, and I went to a place called Barcode. It's closed down now, it's not far from here. And I had a class night, and I was like, and I ended up with some girl anyway. Came back to my brother's apartment the next day, and I was like, I fucking love Dublin. I was like, this is class. And I was like, geez, that loads of shithole, like, you know. Sorry.
It's okay. People have said worse.
Karma loan or one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I was like I wasn't even living there. Like, I was commuting from Mullingar. I was like, I'm still in school, like down there. I was like, and my father was telling me at the time, like, he reckoned that the construction company was going to go belly up. This like 2006, and he was like, things are just starting to like, I don't know. He kind of predicted it. 2008 then everything really went belly up, so I was like, what am I doing? So I went back up to the school and I was like, listen, I want to come back and do my leaving cert, and they were like, you're not getting back in. So they refused to let me back in. I applied to get back in to repeat my leaving cert then. I went working for the summer. They refused again, and I went to a board of management meeting and literally had to pitch myself to say, look, I'm more mature now and I realise the error of my ways. Forgive me, Lord, for I didn't know what I was doing or whatever. So I kind of rallied around with a couple of parents and stuff, and they came at the meeting then, hands down, they were like, he's getting back in. Like, it looks like he wouldn't go to this effort if he didn't want to get back in. So I got back in. I got like nearly 500 points in my leaving cert then. I got back in October, so it's 7 months, and I had picked up 2 subjects, and I bought a book on how to get a better memory, how to improve your memory, which to this day is the most beneficial book I've ever written.
Name it.
I can't. It's just literally how to improve your memory.
Okay.
That's what it was called. And because the leaving cert, it's all about memory. Like, so is college. I used it in here. I used to get like 90 in law here, because I used to remember all the fucking stupid, like, the Moore versus McGregor 1999 or whatever. Like, I used to know all these little things because I had this system in place of how to remember things. So even when I do gigs now, like, they can give me 100 names, and I'll go up there without a script and I'll remember all 100 names. And people always go, how do you remember the names? And I'm like, just good memory. But I read those books, and I really like the entire like education system. Like, it's just really based on your memory. It's not really based. It's a memory test. Yeah. If you can remember your stuff, you'll end up doing well. And I went from 300 points doing nothing. Now, I wasn't stupid or anything. I always passed things. In college here, I always got 40%. My final year then, I got a 2-1. I was a little off a 1-1, but I did the same thing. I stopped drinking for the year, and in my final year, and said I'm going to get a good degree. And I got 2-1.
Don't know about that now.
Were you must be a bit of a bowel chap in school, were you? Did they want to let you back in?
I wasn't even I was just one of those like kids.
I'd
like
say
that.
you were cheeky.
Yeah, like, you know, I'd be talking and the teacher would be like, Conor Moore, shut up talking. And I'd be like, I wasn't talking. Do you know, I'd be like that. Like, I
Last
just
word,
pick a fight.
kind of.
Yeah, that wasn't me. Hold on, you're lying. And then I just pick a fight with a teacher and I get thrown out and stuff. And I do all this kind of stuff. Where I got suspended a couple of times. Yeah, I was always just playing football and stuff, and you just went to school in a mess.
And so you got your business degree, I assume, from here.
Oh, did you? No, I gave up drink. It was the best thing I ever did for final year.
And did you go into anything after that related to the degree at all, or?
I went over to America for a year, done a J1, done a bit over there.
What were you doing over there?
I was working like for a construction company, doing like their books or whatever. And after that, then I came back and I got a job in finance here. And it bored me to tears. It absolutely bored me to tears. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, so I got a job in sales. So
3 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With 3 Ireland. So I started selling phones in there. It was like just promising everyone the sun, moon and stars and stuff. And not delivering on it, getting the sales. I was doing well at that. I actually liked that. That was one of the most enjoyable jobs I ever had. Like, the team was cool. Our bosses were cool. Like, and it was just like being on, like the people on the team were kind of cool. 1 or 2 of them were footballers, GAA lads and stuff. And
Ones we'd know?
No, well, Paddy Curran was one of them, and he
okay.
was a brilliant Kerry full forward minor. He scored like, I don't know, 1 5 goal and a final minor. He done 2 of his cruise sheets in. He was going to be.
Jesus.
He was like the gooch coming up.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
He was a brilliant footballer. He was great crack. Then they were just good crack, and then I was doing that, and yeah, just ended up doing impressions.
Yeah, so right, we'll get on to it. So how did this come about? Like, have you always had a knack for it, or was it just you took the piss out of one lad and just decided?
No, when I was a kid, I remember doing like I watched Après Match. My father got the DVD for Après Match back in like '99.
I think it's like a household staple nearly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right. So he got this Live at the Olympia cassette, and he put it on one day. And you know, when you're a kid, you look up to your father or whatever. So like, I was watching him laugh at this, and I was like, this must be hilarious. So I found it funny. Even though if I was watching it on my own, I wouldn't have got anything. Like, because I didn't know who Frank Stapleton was, ever. Never seen him before. But Barry Murphy was doing it, my father was in stitches laughing at this, and I was like, this is good. And I must have been about 10 or 11. So then I started like I was doing impressions of them, doing the impressions like. So my father was coming home, and I was like, oh, what do you think I'm doing this stuff for, you know? He was like, oh, very good. I was obviously shy, like, well, I was doing it anyway. But I did it, and I was in school doing it then, and the boys were like, Jesus, you know, you're good at that. And then I just stopped doing it. And I didn't do it for like, I would say I didn't do it since primary school. I can't remember doing it in secondary school. So you're talking maybe I stopped doing it when I was 11 or 12.
There must have been a complication there because your voice definitely broke in the meantime. Like,
No, I don't even think it was anything. I did it, and the boys got a kick out of it, and then that was the end of it. And I just never really did it again. But I used to do my uncle down at my club. The odd time I used to do
the great Ned.
Yeah. Do you know Ned?
Is he leading you to county final next weekend? We'll get to that.
He's an investigative journalist.
We'll get to that. So anyways,
yeah, and then when I was even in college, I was always the one telling stories at parties and stuff. I wasn't like. There's actually a video of me getting a lap dance here.
Oh, it's definitely like A&F for wankers.
No, I sure got one of the lads up in DCU here got it was a weird one. I was with this girl one night, and I came out, and the boys were all like, we're all celebrating, you know, whatever. And I come out, and one of the boys is like, I'm having a party tomorrow night, I'm getting a stripper, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna let her dance on you. And I'm like, yeah, I do it. So I go out to this house party, it's packed, and this video's online somewhere. Like, this stripper comes in, strips off, bang, takes everything off. We end up having a great laugh. I don't know where it was in Hampstead.
Hampstead over there.
I just imagine a stripper walking into Hampstead with the trench coat and just going, hey!
With all the stuff coming out now in DCU, Jesus.
You know, it's like, I think it's on my phone or something.
Just be careful. They could take away your degree for that.
I don't think he needs the degree now.
Fucking have it.
Yeah. It's just a piece of paper now.
Oh, I'll show you these later. But what was I talking about? Yeah, I was in DC, and then I was at work. I was working with Tree, and what I did was we were playing a football match against the Downs, and the Downs are a local club. I play for Mullingar Shamrocks, and they're a smaller team from outside the county or outside the town. They were beating us by 4 points. Game was over. It's injury time. You're 4 points down. You need at least there's literally 30 seconds left. Their manager runs onto the field, and he goads my cousin. Like, they're winning. He comes on and goads my cousin like about them winning. So my cousin like drops the football, runs at him, fires him into the advertising sign at the side of the pitch. And I was right there, so I'm just standing back, like obviously like these things happen in matches, you don't really care. But their whole team like just descended on my cousin then, and they all ran out from the bench. So the bench was right beside me. So then my uncle is there, who's my cousin's father. He's 60, 55 now. He jumps over, gets in the middle of it, and I'm like, fucking, I better get involved in this, like, you know.
I'll be talking place.
Yeah, so I jump in anyway, and nothing really much is happening. It's all like handbags and stuff, and all of a sudden then my mother rings me up. She's from that area that we were fighting against.
Right.
And she's like, there was a fight down there in Cusick Park, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, I heard all the Moores were involved. And I was like, yeah, Ned and Eddie were at it. I was like, but I wasn't involved. And she was like, yeah, Jesus, what did it be like, getting involved in that sort of stuff? I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, the paper comes out on Tuesday, and my big mug's in the back of it, holding a fella like this. And then
was the Westmeath Examiner?
Yeah, and my mother is like, sends me the picture, going, "Thought you said you weren't involved." I says, "That picture's bad. I was breaking it up." The next picture comes out in Westmeath Topic the next day, and like I'm like this.
Car rotten.
My mother is like, "Oh, you weren't involved," or whatever. And so I ended up ringing my chairman, and they were like, "Look, you're going up for suspension. Eddie's going up, Eddie Moore, Conor Moore, Ned Moore. So there's 3 Moores going up, and the club's getting fined as well." And we're like, Jesus. And I thought I was getting like, because technically, like I was.
You weren't involved. You'd
yeah,
gone in as a spectator.
I was injured,
so
I wasn't even tagged. I didn't even have
these
boots on.
kind
I
of
wasn't even a sub. So like, that's like, I see them videos now of spectators running in, and like it wasn't like that. Like I was right beside it, kind of thing, and it was really handbags. There wasn't much happening in it. And it was a family member that I thought was about to get the shite out of him, But so I ended up in like, Jesus, and I was like, if I get done for this now, that's a year ban or so, Anyway, they watched the video back, and really nothing happened. There was no punches thrown. It was all just pulling and dragging, and people were kind of breaking it up aggressively. So I ended up doing a video that I was looking at my Snapchat, and I was like, geez, Snapchat, you can change the faces on this. You can put other people's faces on your face. Like, this is cool. And this is, I'm telling you, this is about 12 years since I've done an impression really of anyone famous, like outside doing my uncle down in the club. So I do Dunphy, Brawley, and all them going, I tell you, those Moores are absolute tramps. They're knackers, and I'm sending this into the WhatsApp group. Bill O'Hurley's in it, Dunphy, Jose Mourinho, and the boys all go mad for this. The boys are all like, this, that's brilliant, man. And if you see it now, like, if I watch it back now, it's actually terrible. They're not even, they're big caricatures, but they're not that accurate, like, compared to what, like, I've done. So that happened. I get this call from Paddy McKenna and Joe.ie. Oh no, sorry. The boys were all like, that's brilliant. And they were put that online. And I was like, yeah, but it's like not going to work online because I'm talking about a shitty match in Mullingar. Who's going to really...
Who's,
the boys were like, yeah, but still people in Mullingar. But I was like, yeah, but if I'm going to do it, like, I may as well
do it right.
Like, do a national thing. So I did, Wooly Parkinson.
Yeah.
So I did him talking about the GAA. He's a personal friend of mine.
he's a good leash man as well.
Anyways,
so I'm going to send this to him.
we went to the Joe Sports Show live last year. They gave an invite to DCU, and I probably shouldn't be missed this because I'm head of sport this year. But so it's me that they actually are going to be giving the invites to. And we went along, and we had a couple of pre-drinks here. We went to the new bar, we had a couple more drinks. We got there, and they had like 10-15 pizzas and about 20 boxes of crates of beer.
Loads of beer.
And they were just like, work away. And we were there for like an hour and a half before the show. Just kept drinking. And anyways, we got out there, came to Wooly, and Wooly just kind of pisses me off a bit sometimes. So I started going, you prick! I just kept roaring at him just like sporadically, you prick! And your man, what's his Damo, do you remember the bald guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he turns out and he's like, shh. And I just keep going, prick! Just kept that. Yeah. And eventually I gave it up.
You were fairly steaming now at that stage.
I was fairly steaming.
Yeah.
That was I at that?
No, it was Tony Cascarino was on that day. I think it was just Tony Cascarino and then Wooly and
what's his name?
Your man.
Dion.
Yeah, Dion. Yeah. I think it was just the three.
Yeah,
Dion Fan, yeah. That was it.
Yeah. It was an experience. We tried to get Tony Cascarino to come to Cafe on Son with us after.
Yeah.
And someone had given us like the free in wristbands, and I was going up to Tony Cascarino and I was shaking his hand and I was trying to put it on his wrist and everything.
Yeah, no, that would have been gas anyways. But yeah, like obviously it went well because
I ripped off
the boys, did a thing on the championship with Davey Fitz and Cody, switched the faces on Snapchat, put it out, and within about 2 hours, Joe.ie had like grabbed it. One of the boys, I told one of the boys to send it to them, but he sent it to them, and they put it out. Then it got like 1,000 shares or something, and it went.
Did they give you credit for it?
See, they didn't, as in, because when it was sent to them, there was no credit on it. No one knew the name. It was switched faces. They just like this guy, and I'd no page, so like I'd nothing. So like they couldn't really credit me. They credited the person that sent it to them.
Right.
They're like hat tip to Philly Bell, because Philly Bell sent it. So they get that, and then I get this. They contact the boys, and they're like, "Who is that lad?" And they contact me. So I'm coming out of work, and they're like, "Would you come over and talk to us?" And I was like, "Grant." So I went over and talked to them. They were like, "So what's the story?" I met Paddy McKenna and Niall McGarry. And McGarry was just all about the UK, really, because
they were kind of pushing into
that the UK. It's just a massive market. At the end of the day, Manchester's bigger than Ireland, like, you know what I mean. So in terms of business, it makes more sense to be doing your stuff in England. So they're like, right, you know, we can give you a job, like, but let's see your Premier League stuff. So I ended up doing some impressions of Premier League players, and they were like, well, that's terrible, because I couldn't do anyone. I could do Mourinho, because I was doing Mourinho when I was a kid, but I could do Mourinho a bit decent enough. Hadn't fuck all else, like. And they got me to sing a song. Then Paddy McKenna was like, "Nah, listen, they were working with Al Foran at the time, and we're like, blah blah blah. We're here with Al, and we're going to stick with Al or something." Because I think Al, you see, was freelancing with them at the time. They wanted someone permanent, and Al wouldn't be permanent. He wanted he wanted to be freelance. So they were like, while I was coming up, I would have like bit the hand off him. So they were like, no. And then Paddy was like, you know, I was kind of saying to him, if you give me time work at this, I'll get better at this, I'm telling you, like, blah blah blah. And because I was after practicing before the meeting, and I was like, I just learned then, geez, if you practice these jokes, you can actually get better at them. I wouldn't say I'm naturally talented at it at all. I work unbelievably hard at it, like. So I was like, right. So I went off, and I was like, fuck them, I'm gonna start a page up, and I'm gonna sicken them, and I'm gonna like
spite. There's no better motivator.
Oh yeah, that's the way I was, like, you know, because I was pissed off they didn't give me the job, like.
After going over there, kind of having half in the back of your head.
Yeah, right, and they got me to sing a song, and I was mad to do the song, and then the song came out, and like Al had sang it, and I was like, fuck, that could have been me, you know, blah blah blah. But so then I just went off, set up a page, and I started doing stuff, and I was getting a bit of notoriety, doing the videos. They were kind of going nowhere. Did one video and then one day that went big. It was a GAA video of Brawley, but I kept persisting with the Snapchat thing. Nearly out of, like, there's an element of fear there as well. You expose your face, you expose you. You know, that type of way. So people don't know you then. There's kind of, I can just do anything now and try anything.
And I suppose you could probably say what you wanted as well.
Yeah.
There's a degree of anonymity to it.
Yeah, and I liked that idea. But that was only taking me so far. And then I was over in America. I was in my cousin's house in New York. I was over visiting or whatever. And the All-Ireland came up, and I was like, fucking, I'm going to do a video without just me doing them voices. And I did that, and Joe shared it, Sports Joe shared it, everyone shared it, and it was me with the face. And I was kind of doing the expressions and all. And then everyone was like, this fella's brilliant, blah. And then that was me. I was out there. And then I was like, I'm never doing the switching face again. Because a lot of it is the acting, like.
Yeah. Well, the mannerisms and stuff.
Big time. It's more important.
Especially with somebody like Joe, like after the whole kind of putting the hand out, fixing the glasses thing, like, it's synonymous.
Together, like.
But again, as I've gone on and learnt more about it, like, I realised that is way more important than voice, like that's why Apple Match is so good, like.
Yeah, no, like, I remember watching, I think it was at the start of this GAA season, you did a panel with Michael Lester and Joe, and a few of the other, Colm Moore was there as well, and like they were asking you as Davey, and but you before you even spoke, you were doing the kind of looking up, like, nervously, like a little scared child, and the crowd were in stitches. Like, it is a lot about the mannerisms and how you're acting it out. Yeah,
it's honestly, the more I'm doing it now, the less I'm even focused on voices. Like, it's more about like becoming them, big time. Like, because it's, I don't know, that video that made me realise, you need your face in it, you need them expressions and stuff. So I did that video, and Joe there was still nothing from Joe. And I was like, I have to nail some Premier League characters. So I sat down and I said, I'm going to do a Premier League video. And I had to base it on something. So Mourinho was going bad at the time at Man United. So it was the crisis at Man United. So I did this video.
Still is.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So it got like 500,000 views. And nothing really happened. And I actually did a gig last Monday, and I was with Jamie Carragher. And I actually said to him, I said, I owe you a big thanks. And he was like, for what, me? And I was like, when I did that video in November, that video was out about 2 weeks, and like it got like like the public, in terms of public consumption, they loved it, but no blue tick people had shared it, or no big names or anything like that. So all of a sudden, Carragher gets it and he goes, because he was in it. He was like, "Don't you mean Mourinho? I hope he's the manager for Manchester United forever. You know, I really do." And then Klopp was in it, and no one had done Klopp. So
yeah, that'd be a tough.
I was listening to Klopp, and I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure in this moment," and it was all about that. The laugh. So I had done Klopp, and I was looking at who can I do that has not been done, and that's a strategy like I've kind of had throughout this entire thing. That's stood to me. Like, instead of going into politics like Mario or Oliver, you know, I'm going up against somebody and I'm going to be compared, and they've done it so well. It's so hard to make it better. But I was like, if I do characters, people like Pep Guardiola as well, you know, and Pep was after doing that interview, you know, yeah, I'm really happy more than you believe.
You're wearing a very similar jumper to what Pep wearing now.
Yeah,
So you're kind of dressed a bit
and
like.
don't forget the scarf.
The scarf as well.
Very,
You just need to shave the head now.
Starting to make money. But so I did that, and Carragher retweets up, and he puts a retweet, and he goes, "This guy is brilliant." And all of a sudden, the next day, I get a call from Joe, and they're like, "Here, we want to give you that job again." And I turned around and I was like, "Fuck you." I'm only kidding. In my head, that's what I said. I actually turned around and I was like, "Yeah, you serious?" Yeah. I was like, "Oh, thanks a million, lads." And they were like, "Right, you're starting at Christmas, and or you're starting after Christmas." So I went up and started with them, and
was that a full-time position?
Yeah.
Because I do remember when we went to the Sports Joe show, you did have a segment, but it was pre-recorded.
It was pre-rec,
You weren't actually physically there. I don't think it was.
oh yeah, no, that was sometimes. Sometimes I did that. Sometimes I went to them. Sometimes I didn't go to them.
Yeah, because I remember seeing the line of the 20 screen, and I was like,
they showed it on TV, but actually where we were sitting, we couldn't actually really see the...
Yeah, no, like they had it up on the screen and stuff like that, and they played the video, and obviously on the broadcast, like the Facebook Live broadcast or whatever, they would have seen it, but we only just saw it on the screen. But when I saw it being advertised, they were saying that Conor Sketches would be there. I was like, oh, that's like class, like listen to Conor Sketches.
Yeah, because I've done a few. I've done most of them. There was some of them I just didn't know whether I had football training or I had something else on or whatever, or a match or something. I missed them, like, but yes, the boys, they gave me the job then. I started off with the boys, and it started off slow enough. I kind of went in, because I like, and you're kind of, your confidence isn't there yet, because you're brand new at a job, and like, I suppose I was after doing it before me, did a few viral videos with him and stuff, so like, there's a little bit of pressure there as well, you know. And I started off doing it, and they gave me like a fella, a kind of a script writer, like, but he didn't know anything about sport or anything. Like, you had to be like, the best fellas I've got to like help me write stuff. Like, I do most of it myself, but like my brothers help me, my friend Paul Christie, Alan Cashman, but they're all like from my football team. Like, I know if they find it funny, then I know it's funny. Like, they're lads, like.
Would they be brutal with you now? Like, if you did something, would they just turn around and say that's shite?
They'll say it's shite.
You'd kind of need that though. You need a bit of humbling. Like,
they'll say that wasn't good. Or like, I've done 1 or 2 videos where they've been like, "No, don't put that out," and I've been there. You know, I remember one of them I did, McGregor. I actually went into Madison Square Garden and did it, and I think if it went out, I'd say it would just the most saddest fucking thing I ever did. Like, but my American. What was it? I had an American fella went to me, he was like, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that." So I'd done it, like, it was absolute shite. And I don't know why, I was like, maybe it's alright. And then I was like, because you kind of have to try things that you're not comfortable with. When I went into Joe, I was like, I'm not dressing up like an Egypt, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not dressing up like a woman or anything, like, which I still haven't done yet, in fairness. Like, oh no, I did for once. But I was kind of like, you know, I'm not a clown, like, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer, and I realise that now. Now I'll do anything, because it is all about the performance.
You do use the props now.
Oh, big deal, the whole time, yeah. And that's what it's all about, the act. But I started off that way, it was going slow enough, and I was kind of getting help with the writing and stuff, and even from England, but like the boys that were helping me writing were journalists or whatever, like, and it was a bit of a ball ache for them.
Different types of humour, like.
Yeah, and I was focusing on the impressions, so I was sitting there during the week, and I was like looking at videos of people working on, like, trying to do impressions, and I was like, then the content wasn't great, and now for me it's the opposite. Then I started writing myself. Oh yeah, I quit the job.
What?
I went in to quit.
Okay.
Because I didn't think it was for me, and I was like, no, I'm better off me.
How long were you there at this stage?
A couple of weeks.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a beef with the boss, kind of
fucking
thing.
woolly again.
Like, no, I wasn't woolly. And then I was like, I you know.
I'm sorry. For everybody that's listened to our recent interviews, Greg wants and needs to start beef with somebody in Irish media.
I've been on woolly for a while.
Yeah, you have, to be fair. I mean, you showed commitment.
Get him on the podcast.
Send him this.
Yeah.
Put in the word for us.
He's alright, you get to know him.
But no, you were saying.
What was I saying?
What were you saying?
Um,
Oh, you're about to
You wanna
quit.
quit?
You're about
Oh
to
yeah,
quit.
you mentioned to quit.
yeah, we'd be, and I was like, this isn't for me or whatever. And then the boys were like, you know, I don't think you should quit and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I want to quit. I was like, fuck this. I threw the ties out of the pram kind of thing. And I was like, I'm out here. And then they were like, well, what would make you stay and stuff. And then we were talking, and I was kind of like, no, these boys are all right. Like, I kind of come in throwing the ties out of the pram, but they were kind of like more mature about it. Like, I'd be kind of, I act in haste, repent in leisure all the time. Like, I just act like that on everything when I should. Like, and to this day, I tell myself, relax,
Take a breath.
take 10, then act. You know, but I just don't. I find it very hard. There's no thickness in the blood there in my family. But
Clearly from the past story about the Moors, anyways.
You're gonna have half a Mullingar after you leave here.
So that's it. Then I ended up. Yeah, I stayed on, and I was like, I want to write my own stuff. Just let me.
Was that one of the stipulations to stay on?
Yeah,
Do
well,
a bit more
we just
yourself?
had a chat. I was like, I think I can do better myself. I was like, and let me just add. And so they did. Start writing my own stuff. We started doing GAA sketches, and Brolly started retweeting them. And I met Brolly then. I actually met Brolly my first week on the job, and that's why I actually have such a close connection to him, because Brolly is like such a class act. Like he's such a good man. He has the crack. Look at on Twitter. Look at it today. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Exactly. He like, the more I try to like take the piss out of him, the more he loves it. Like, you know, he tells me to do something. He gives me like nuggets. I did up for the match a couple of weeks ago. He wrote his own part in there. He was like, say this, say that, you know, and he's like, he's just denigrating himself the whole time.
Everything he
care.
really wants to say, he's just going to get to say through you.
Yeah. Oh no, if he really wants to say something, he's no fair.
Sure, yeah.
He's no fair. But he, I remember the first time he met me, and his advice to me was, when you're coming doing this now, don't try making friends with people. Do you know, like, I'm a young fella doing it, and it's like, oh, I'm going to lick the arse off him. I'm going to lick the arse off that lad. He's like, no. Like, make fun of everyone. Because that's your job. It's supposed to be funny. It's satire. You know, you're going to have some people who are going to call you a cunt. He said, water off a duck's back. And I remember, there was at times when I was like, didn't know whether the job was going well, I like trying to get the balls to do something. I'd honestly watch back, because that was all on video, because it was recorded. Like, you know, when the man says stop, like, he never turned the camera off. Yeah. So we're in between takes, whatever, doing the little video we were doing, and he was saying all this to me. So I had this, and I remember watching it, like, and it's still stuff I'd nearly watch it, like, you know, because it was like such brilliant advice. And that's what I've always done. Like, I've never tried to lick anyone's arse. Like, whatever. If I think if it's funny, I've never got personal though.
Have you ever taken down a video?
Yeah.
Have you ever like put up one and then said, actually?
Yeah, I took one down before I would have met Brolly, where Westmeath played Dublin, and
Was that the hammer that they gave you?
how many
Which
hammers?
one?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose, yeah.
But Dermot Connolly grabbed one of the boys in the headlock and pulled him to the
yeah,
ground.
that game,
So when I was doing the thing, it was Parkinson interviewing Jim Gavin, and I was like, oh, so Jim, like, what happened with Dermot Connolly? And Jim was like, yeah, look, both players were spoken to each other, and he was trying to like throw the question away, kind of like, and Parkinson keeps pressing. Come on, Jim, tell me. And he goes, look, I'm not going to say it, but there was a reference made to Desperate Dan, you know, saying about snaring Connolly, right? And that was something one of my friends came up with, and he was like, yeah, do it, that's funny. I was like, no, I don't really want to do it. So the video was up for about 3 or 4 days, and then I just took it down. I was like, I didn't like it up, just I was snaring someone like that, you know, on top of that.
And was it up on your own page,
break
or was
my
it
neck in seconds as well?
Was it Joe.ease?
No, it was my page. It was
Okay.
my page. But I remember it didn't sit well with me doing it, and I kind of did it because the boys were like, "Oh, do that. That's funny. That's hilarious. Everyone will love that because everyone love to snare Connolly." Like, and then I was like, it was up, and like, the video went well enough, and I was like, I just took it down, and I was like, I just didn't like it, like, and I was like, I'm not doing that. You know, personally slagging someone off is just not funny. Like, it's cheap as well, and there's no comedy in it. There's no thought in it. Like saying what everyone else might be saying about someone, like denigrating someone or something like that. Anything like. I was like, I'm not doing that with anyone. And then the thing with Connolly, it just one of my mates thought it'd be funny, and I did it, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. And
Have you met Dermot since?
I met him at a gig one night. I doubt he even seen that, like, you know what I mean? I doubt he was watching it around. But like, if you ever said it to me, like, I'd say, sorry, Dermot, please don't kill me.
And run away, yeah.
He's a class act. He's a brilliant footballer and everything, and he's like,
And he's back.
He's back.
yeah, he's I love a rogue. Like, I really love people like him. Like footballers like him that just don't care.
Bit like
He
not
doesn't-
that many of them
he's,
around
yeah,
anymore,
exactly. He's
yeah.
himself, like, you
Bit
know what I
like
mean?
McGregor as well, in a way.
Yeah, McGregor's grand.
McGregor might take it to another level.
McGregor's
Yeah.
bollocks, like.
Yeah.
McGregor, I have a lot of respect for McGregor. Like, but the only thing about McGregor is that like we should be sitting here talking about what a legend he is and what an inspiration he is, and that like there should be nearly like a statue built to McGregor to show kids all over Ireland. You put your mind to something, you can achieve it, and he is unbelievably inspirational. The only thing is that like you can't do any of that because of the stuff that like just the last couple of weeks, the
controversy,
the shite of your dad and all this kind of stuff. Like, but he used to be funny and brilliant and stuff, and then you're watching that going, oh, man, like what's this like?
He felt like he was trying to hamming it up, throwing it in like this fight.
But it all just kind of seems like folly, just more to add to the spectacle that is the fight, and
that's it,
more money. Like the more people tune into this kind of thing, the more money he makes, the UFC makes.
Yeah, but how much money? The thing for me, I'd be saying to him if I was his man, I'm like, how much money do you want, man? I was like, respect is more important than money, like and he
his
should,
legacy
and he should, people should be like respecting him and looking at him, like just solely through
his profession, like on the mat, like whatever.
Through the eyes of an athlete, like you know what I mean, as in like his athleticism, what he's achieved in America and everything. Because like he is one of the most like innovative, amazing individuals that's ever walked on planet Earth. And just there's no need for some of this stuff. Do you know? There really isn't. Like I feel like because he really should be like heralded as what he is.
Like Irish media, you read paper.
I think there's been a sharp turn though. Probably since
I was listening to, of course you were on it recently, I was listening to this week's To Johnny's podcast, and they were chatting away about it.
And on this week's one?
No, he was on a few weeks ago, yeah. And they were chatting away, and basically they made a really good point in the fact that Khabib really shot himself in the foot. Because if he had took McGregor down and just stood over him triumphantly, McGregor would have been dead. Like that was him nearly finished. Yeah. But the fact that he threw himself into the crowd gave him McGregor a chance to redeem himself in a way.
Well, like distracted from the fact that McGregor got mauled.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody was really after the fight. Nobody was talking about the masterclass that Khabib gave McGregor. Everybody was talking about the entire brawl and stuff like that, and it took so much pressure off McGregor, I feel, and that's a point that the Two Johnnies made in their podcast, and I thought that was a very valid
does, and
argument.
it gives him an in now, because really in the UFC, if you get beaten, no one gets rematches. No. He got one against Diaz, and they were like, he's done enough for the company that he deserves it, and now he's going to get one. I don't know if he definitely would have got one if Khabib didn't do what he did, but Khabib, like Dana White's full of shit. Like Dana White loves this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a sad day for the sport.
He's a bigger stir than I am.
Dana White is like just full of shit. He loves this, and he loves that happened. Khabib, and he can say all he wants about the sport. They're grand, they're making billions, and they're going to make I don't know how many hundreds of millions from McGregor.
It crushed the pay-per-view anyway. So.
It will, because the only thing is I cannot see how McGregor can beat the guy.
No.
Like considering, how do you because he's so strong. Like he's stronger than Diaz.
Fight bears. Have you seen him fight bears?
No, he's a kid and all that kind of stuff. Like it's mad stuff. He's
none of that down in Mullingar, no.
Bears.
Mad. Fight if you had to wrestle Brezzy out in the street now, that's close enough. Like. Huh? Wrestling Brezzy out in the street in Mullingar, that'd be close enough.
He'd be as close to a bear as you'd be finding. I'd say, yeah. Anyway, look, back to the impressions. Look, so they obviously they took off on social media and stuff like that, and you got the big gig, the international gig,
the big gig,
up for the match. How was that? Des Cahill, Grania Shoga, all the.
You thought we were going to say something else. Bear in mind, our recent guests in the last couple of weeks have been Michael Lister and Joanne Cantwell.
Yeah.
So.
Were they?
Yeah. So you're not like the first big name we've got.
Yeah, you're good guests. Up for the match. That was something like when I was working in Joy. You see, I was like exclusive to Joe, and the big thing was I wasn't allowed to do anything with anybody else. And up for the match came knocking, and I was like, I really want to do this. And they were like, it was kind of like, I don't know. And then I was like, kind of digging my feet in. I was like, listen, but like McGregor in the UFC, I was like, I've done enough this summer. We've got loads of views on them videos. I was like, this is the TV. I've watched this all my life. I was like, I want to do this. I did it, with Des and Grania, and it was deadly. Like they were so sound, over there. Des is like one of the biggest gents you'll ever meet, and Grania is like just a legend. Like she really is very cool. So we did that. That was.
You've been on it a couple of times now.
I did it this year as well.
Yeah.
But I remember doing that. That was a big change because I remember doing gigs, and I'd walk in because not a lot of people are on the internet. You go to a dinner dance, and most of the people in the room probably don't have Facebook, or they don't have Facebook and like Joe.ie. So I'd walk into a room and I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, Conor Sketches, and I'd see all these faces looking like going, who's this lad? Do you know, oh, this fella any good? Oh, this fella think he's Mario Rosenstock. You know, this kind of shit. So you get up there and you have to win the crowd over. I find now when I do GAA gigs, I walk, or after up for the match the first time, when I did that and it went well, like it was the first time doing live TV or whatever, I remember going to them gigs and people were looking up with big smiles on their faces going, oh, this lad. Do you know? And it makes your gig so much easier. And it's the more you do it and the better you get at it, the easier all them gigs are. Because people are already nearly laughing. And I remember thinking, it made sense then, because I remember going to Tommy Tierney in Mullingar years ago, before I was ever involved in any of this. And he came out and he said hello and everyone laughed. He goes, hello, into the microphone. And everyone started laughing and I'm going, and I wasn't like big into Tommy at the time. Even now I'm like massive, in my opinion. I've never seen that like the best ever. But he said hello and I was going, what the fuck are they laughing at? Like, he just said hello, like, what sort of shit?
It's just stage presence,
yeah,
is it?
That was it. And I realised now when I was doing it for the match and I was coming on, people were laughing before I spoke. People laughing when I put Loughnan's head in me. And I didn't have to say it and people are laughing. And yeah, so up for the match. That was the big international gig.
Yeah,
the slightly smaller gig.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's the elephant in the room. Obviously, during the summer, he got snapped up by NBC over in America. How does that gig even come about? Does the call come down, the email come in? How do you even react to news like that?
No, see, I was working with Joe at the time, and
They must fucking hate you because you just seemed like 1 foot out the door the whole time.
Yeah, well, you see, the problem I had working in Joe was, and I loved working there, and great people, and learned so much as well. And I was working with a lad called Gary Carroll, and he was deadly, like, making them videos. Like, he made good videos into great videos because he could work the green screen and stuff brilliantly and all those effects. But when I was there, see, the thing there was all these things coming in, and people were asking me to do this, that, and the other, and I was like, oh, I can't do it. I work for Joe, and I was like the Joe guy, and I didn't have my own identity. I had theirs. My social media following didn't really grow when I was in Joe. Like, I got it to like 10 or 12,000 people within 4 months.
Still
and
some going, like.
Yeah, and then it grew to 25 in a year and a half. Do you know? So like, I doubled it. Like, in 4 months it was 12, and then when you get there, like, some of the videos got millions of hits. If they were on my own yoke, I would have grown my own profile. The only thing was, I was getting paid. These other guys with the big with the big numbers and stuff, they weren't getting paid every week. I was, like, and that made sense to me. And it gave me a platform. So, like, there was so many good things about Joe, but the longer I did it and the little bits I did outside of it, I realised, like, well, I want to taste some of this now, and I want to go do this and do that, and I don't want to have to, like, be answerable to someone and blah blah blah. So I was like, I had a meeting with the lads. With Paddy McKenna was my manager or whatever, and Paddy was like brilliant for me, like, because he was really calm head, like, he used to work with RT, and he was just good for me when I was there. And I said to him, I said, I want to do a video, I want to do video soccer, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do golf video, and they were kind of like no to a lot of it. They were like, you can't really do that. And then the golf video, they were like, alright, come on, you can do the golf video. And they were like, why do you want to do golf video? And I was like, I don't know, no one's ever done the golf video.
An untapped resource, yeah.
And a bit like Klopp that time, no one had done Klopp and this kind of shit. So I was like, right, I'm going to do the golf. So about 2 months I spent working on about 7 or 8 impressions. I already had like Lowry, McIlroy, Harrington. So I worked on the rest of them, and Tiger was kind of coming back as well, and I really wasn't really paying much attention to Tiger. I was like, I thought Tiger was kind of like done, like everybody thought Tiger was finished, and he was after getting surgery on his back, and I thought he was going to come and it was going to be like a ceremonial there for Tiger, and he'd play the course and people would follow him, clap him off, and he'd walk away into the sunset. All of a sudden he starts coming second in competitions. I'm like, holy shit, man, this guy is back. And golf then started getting really big. Like, this is the biggest year golf has had, their numbers, everything. And I know from like the boys at NBC, ratings are through the roof. Like, this is the biggest year
and
golf.
it's all because they brought on Conor Sketches.
But it all because of Tiger, not just Tiger though, but Poulter won the Houston Open. And Poulter is he's the biggest character in golf. Like, Tiger's obviously the biggest name in golf, but just in terms of like fun and everything else, everyone loves Poulter.
Wearing all the mad shit as well. Yeah. So Poulter came back and I was like, geez, if I do a video here, I reckon it'll become good. Now, it blew my mind how big it got. Like, I remember saying, the boys and Joe were like, why do you want to do golf? I was like, I think the golf could be good. In my head, I'm thinking, I could get some like golf gigs like in America, like a club would bring me over, these posh clubs, you know, with all the money, you know, you get
kind of like the two Johnnies going over to Edinburgh for the weekend.
Exactly, yeah.
But I was thinking of that, and I was like, you know, it's another source of income, and, you know, if you're branching out a bit, and then you have the soccer, you have the GAA, and then you've golf. And I'll do the golf clubs around Ireland. So that's as far as I thought it would go. All of a sudden, this video just went viral in America. I was getting texts going, listen, CNN have this playing on, like NBC played it, like all the TV networks. So I was on television in America and I was like, holy shit, like this has gone mad viral.
What did the mommy and daddy say, if anything at all?
No, do you know, my parents, I actually, I forgot to say that, when I was with Tree and I did that one video, I quit my job the next day. I walked in and said, I'm gone. Like, not like, I swear to God, I was like, I'm getting, like, when the boys were
you were probably what, like 25 or like, were you
27
thereabouts?
27, which is worse, you know, and my parents
like, how do you turn around to the parents and be like, yeah, quit another one, and like, I'm going to make videos, like, what are you going to do? I'm going to make videos. How does that go down?
They never opened their mouth. They were just like, alright. But like, I know now they were kind of going, Jesus, like, that was like, this is mad. He's like giving up a job and all, like his income and stuff, and you know, and I wasn't 21, like, you know, so I went to Scratcher for like 4 or 5 months and just made videos. But I was like, shit, I'm giving this everything. Like, there's no point in me just not giving it everything. And thankfully it all worked out, like. But yeah, NBC just contacted me, or God Channel contacted me, and were like, you know, we could do a video or two with you or whatever. So what I did on the Friday was, right, I gotta like back this up because that was Monday, and the cut happened on the Friday. I'm kind of more known for doing sketches than impressions. Like, there's a storyline to all the stuff. So I was like, I need to do a sketch on golf. So I did this sketch. It got like 250,000 hits. The video on Monday got like 2 or 3 mil. But them ones always get big ones. Those ones where you do impressions and you bit of comedy in them, they always get hits. But the sketches, if it gets over 100,000, it's doing well. The actual sketch. So I did the sketch, and they seen the sketch then, because I wanted them to see the sketch as if to say, I can do this also. Like, I can act in this as well. So I did that, and then they came back and were like, listen, we could have a job for you. So they flew me to Orlando then in May, and yeah, we just talked. They brought me to the Players Championship, and I've been out there since, whatever. Like, it's, yeah, we talked. Like, I would have accepted anything. I was like, just give me a job, like, I'll make this work, like, and just
get your foot in there anyways,
yeah,
and then just like see where it can take you.
And then it's been mad since I started with them. Like, you know, the golf, no one's done it before, so no one's seen it, so everyone's just like, oh, this is brilliant. Do you know?
Is it a step up in, like, I suppose, like American media is, like, compared to Irish media,
a lot more vindictive, I'd say.
You know, and aside from that, like, even, I suppose, like, the level of it and, like, the studios and different things like this.
Just the size, sheer
like,
size of it. Yeah.
Has that come into it? Like, what's your setup over there? Like, do you still record the same way you would over here?
I record them, I produce them, so I do it here. No, I do the odd video over there. Like, the only thing is, I haven't done any work in America. I only got my visa yesterday, so I got a 3-year visa yesterday.
Nice.
So now,
NBC sponsoring you.
Yeah. So now I've got 3 years in America, and so now I'm gonna move over there. But the level, I don't know. Like Joe, like, you'd be shocked at the level of professionalism that Joe had. When I started out, there wasn't really much, and it was a bit of a like, it felt like you were in an attic with a load of students. And they were just writing articles and having a crack. By the time I left, it had completely went
Offices,
full circle.
Yeah.
It was a proper office. There was like management team in place. Like, there was studios, there was cameras. Like, there was.
That was one thing that somebody said. Is like, when we went to the sports show, we were obviously drinking away and stuff like that. Like, they gave us the beer and the pizza, and it's like, all right, mingle between yourselves. And then obviously we got maybe a little bit too loud because somebody came out and was like, lads, it's great that you're having fun, but there are people working literally right beside you. So
yeah,
could you keep it to a
minimum?
minimum?
People on the evening shift, or
yeah,
like the news desk or whatever. Like, for sure. Like, what do you expect when you put?
Oh, you were in. Sorry, you weren't at a live show. You were just in the studio at Maximum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I always did videos. I never actually went on that show. I just did videos. For
yeah,
we were on the Facebook live stream, the sports show.
I actually started now on that, and I did a couple of yokes with that. Me and Wooly was interviewing me, and it was shite. And it was like every week he had to come up with new stuff, and it was like. It was a bit of a ball ache, like, it just didn't feel good. And like, we were sitting down, and even Mully was like, listen, you're known for doing sketches, maybe do a sketch. And we did a sketch in the Gooch, and that's when the thing took off, because the sketch went really well. The Gooch retired, so I did like a tribute to him. So that was a big turning point, actually. I thought you were at one of the shows.
No.
Because I would have usually done the live show
if
we were in a show club or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was literally like just up a flight of stairs in some random kind of office.
They're really nice offices.
They are nice offices.
And they're after doing it up again, yeah.
Oh, really?
So like Joe, like the level of and even like
I've seen their UK office actually when they opened it. I seen Niall Gary had it on LinkedIn. It's unreal, like.
Yeah, the office looks class over there. I wasn't in it now, but it looks it's some step up. But yeah, you see, I learned a lot in Joe, and even like now, like I was at like the Ryder Cup and stuff there, and see NBC and God Channel, they're all broadcast media, like, so they're all television. So all this is foreign to them, and I actually come in, like, I actually work well for them because I know I worked on all these live yokes, Facebook live streams, and all these kind of things. Like, so I've not that like I was actually working on it, but I was there, and you're always learning and taking things in, like. And no matter who I was with, you were always trying to learn stuff off them so that you knew. So when I be with the golf channel now or whatever, they'll bring me into these meetings just for my input or whatever, because I actually have like experience of working digitally like in Joe, and they're only like coming around this way.
It's really stood to you, so.
Yeah, big time. Like Joe, really, really stood to me. Learned so much there, like, and just even like doing my own videos now and stuff with NBC. Like they're kind of like, even though mine are like shite compared to like Joe, the only thing is the internet doesn't need to be good, like, do you know what I mean? No, but mine are good. People, to the naked eye, people think, Jesus, like, he can do the edits as well, like, this is unbelievable. And the boys in NBC think it's brilliant. But like, compared to like that lad I was working with, Gary Carr, like, to the detail he goes into, like shadows and shit like that all over the place, like, it was unbelievable. But like, it suffices, like, you know. But like, yeah, I was working there, or being there, I learned a lot.
I know where we're going next. Wait, where are you going next?
I was gonna start having a bit of fun with the characters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right, I'm gonna take Greg's phone. Gav, you explained what happened during our interview with Ian Dempsey a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah. So basically, having a good chat with Ian Dempsey, and then my mum decides to ring me. So I don't know her.
Mid-interview.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, right, I'll turn it off. You know, hang up. And then the lads are like, I'll get her on the phone. And basically got my mum on the phone to Ian Dempsey, and Ian Dempsey was basically throwing with my mum.
He was seriously coming on to her.
Ian Dempsey. I worked actually in Joe with his son Shane.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Ian is a legend. Like, Mario Rosenstock obviously does the gift club with him.
Yeah.
But like, people think it's like gift club Mario, it's all about Mario, like, but just from I doing it, I realise how important Ian Dempsey is to that. He's a massive part of that.
Yeah.
No matter what, Ian Dempsey laughs and laughs and laughs. He could have heard this same thing over and over again when he's on the radio. It's like he heard it for the first time. No, maybe he did hear it for the first time, I don't know. But like, obviously it has to be scripted. Like, he scripts some of it, I know that as well. Like he's. I would love to have an Ian Dempsey, put it that way. Do you know what I mean?
Right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ring my dad off of Greg's phone, so he won't know. Like, he obviously won't know initially that it's me, but I'm not gonna speak. It's gonna be you. Now, what character will we pick out?
What's your dad? What would your dad like?
He's a massive dub. So if you want, maybe actually I know, ring him as Joe Brawley, and you're asking him to join the Sunday game panel. But give him a bit of shit for being a dub as well.
So what's his name?
Shane.
And what's the club?
His club?
Yeah.
Scary's Harps. Brian Cullen.
Brian Cullen.
Yeah.
And Shane. What I'll do is, to make it believable at the start, I'll say, who do I say I got the number off?
Oh Jesus.
Brian Cullen.
Not sure, but he wouldn't, like, he's outside Scary's, so it wouldn't be.
But like, is he involved in the club?
Oh, he wouldn't be. Like, we live down in Waterford now, like, so that's.
Go.
Would it be believable if I rang him up and was like, you know, I'm looking to have your number for someone, I'm looking to get a challenge match, you know?
What's your club down thing?
Ballydufflore, GAA.
Do you have any?
Like, he'd be good friends with somebody down. Like, he'd be friends with the clubmen and stuff like that.
Oh, Austin Gleason's father works with him, sure.
Oh yeah, he does.
Do that one. Can you get Austin Gleason's number? Want to get him on the?
Right. Yeah.
Why would Joe be asking for it?
Yeah. Why would you? No. I got your number there off of I can't remember Austin Gleason's father now. His name.
You're some shite bag, you know.
Just say off Ozzy Gleason's old man.
Yeah, gave me your number. I'm wondering if you want to join the Sunday game panel. Right, I'm gonna ring him now. Hopefully he'll answer.
What's your club?
Ballydufflore, GAA.
What's the name? Shane.
Be at work.
Well, that's a lot of bollocks.
Hello?
Hello, Shane.
Yes?
Shane, how are you doing? Joe Brawley here.
Joe Brawley?
Joe Brawley, pal. How are you?
Not too bad, and yourself?
Sure, I'm alright. Come here. I got your phone number off Ozzy Gleason's old man. I hope you don't mind.
No, work away. Yeah, go ahead.
We're looking to get a challenge match done in Waterford there, you know, and I was wondering, would your club, you know, be interested in playing us in Bridget's? We're going down for a weekend, so we are.
Right, okay.
Right, so we're just looking to get a bit of a challenge match going, you know. And are you strong?
Am I strong?
No, not you, the team.
To be honest with you, I don't actually know, Joe.
Well, I don't know why you gave me your number, so.
That's very confusing me too.
Well,
Because I haven't been involved in the club in a long time.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to speak to him. I tell you that, no, because he gave me your number now, and you know I'm a busy man and acting the bollocks with me. You know, come here, listen. By the way, we're just wondering, would you fancy joining the Sunday game panel? You seem to know fucking everything about football. Shane, I'm here with your son.
Well, Dad, I'm with Conor Sketches.
That's where I guess that, yeah.
Nah, don't lie to me now. How soon did you realise? Be honest.
Well, to be honest, Joe Brawley ringing me is not a thing that would normally happen. And then on the
Yeah, well, you were playing along with it for a while anyways.
Yeah, seeing that I haven't been involved at all in Ballyduff.
Well, they wanted me to get on the phone and ask you. They wanted the Sunday game panel straight away, and I thought he won't believe that anyway.
But thanks very much for the invite. I'll be delighted to go on the panel.
I'll ring Brawley and ask him.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Thanks very much, Dad. I'll talk to you again soon.
Oh, that was good.
Thanks. That was brilliant.
Oh, he's still here. Oh, bye, Shane.
Probably would ring him.
That was incredible. No, thanks for that, Conor. That was amazing.
No worries.
What's the plan for the year? For the next couple of years? Any plans? Any goals?
To break America, man.
America. Not get deported either.
Please God.
Yeah.
No, I am. Yeah, I'm going to go to America, and I need to find the Jerlic Nan of America.
Yeah.
Break America to get that one brilliant character.
I think with America, like you've done, like obviously you've done the Gaelic football and the soccer here and in England, and then you've done the golf, which is taken to America. There's a whole multitude of sports that now you can study in America.
Yeah, no, I've been I actually have an email there from one of the creative directors or something of the NHL, the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
He's asking me to do stuff. The thing is, like, you see, these people ask me to do these things. American football I probably would get in because it's so big, but there's some sports like I couldn't be arsed getting involved in because I've no interest in it.
And plus you probably have no base for it, so you have to go in and completely learn it from the ground
Exactly,
up.
like while I'm interested in soccer, Gaelic and golf. They're three games that I actually have played, you know, so, and I watch them, like, you know, and
I mean, pick up the little...
Like even rugby, I don't do much rugby players because I don't really watch rugby. I watch the Six Nations, like, because like, it's my country playing, or the World Cup, but like I wouldn't watch Leinster and Munster playing, like if they're playing a Saturday, you know. Some of my mates would like go for a pint, like just never. I was never a rugby head, like so like I just kind of stick to what you know, like, you know what I mean, and just that's the way I've done it anyway. And those sports. Now, in saying that, I am going to start watching American football because, like, obviously money talks. And
McGregor's getting in there, so no reason you can't.
Exactly.
Those horrible.
That's it, John. Take out
Yeah,
that whole.
did you see him trying to show it was the suit, like you could just see he was like, don't rip.
Oh yeah, it stuck to him, like. But yeah, find the Jerlic Nan of whatever and just get some good videos of. I think I might have some golfers lined up. There's a couple of big golfers that I might have some videos with and stuff now in the next couple of months.
Very good.
So hopefully it all works out.
Do you play golf?
Yeah.
Did you play golf prior to, or is this something that you've like, fuck, I better get good at this now if I'm gonna be...
I've been a golf fan, but like in terms of sports, golf for me, like growing up, I don't know, I was just more into team sports, like going playing with the lads, playing soccer, playing football, things like that. I just wasn't, don't know, golf, I'd play maybe once a year, twice a year, the odd time where we'd actually just do it as a special occasion thing. Well, we go for a game of golf, like, so we'd play golf. But when that video came out, then I was getting invites to play in the pro-ams like Pebble Beach next February and stuff, which is lined up. So I was like, I can't go because I seen like Niall Horan plays them, and Horan,
another Mullingar man.
Yeah, so Horan was like saying like that they have, when you're hitting the balls off the tees, like it's just like the pros. They're standing out in front of you, some of these people. Now if they're standing out in front of me, they're putting their life in danger, like, you know what I mean? So I was like, I better like get that right. So I've done loads of lessons and stuff and things like that. So I'm just...
What's your handicap?
I got it from 22 to 18.
That's not bad.
The last couple of
Not the
months.
worst,
No, like I'm a good 18. Like I know, like when I play people in like matches and stuff, and I'm 18, they're kind of like giving out going, "You're not 18." But the only thing is, like I play quite. I haven't played in the last couple of weeks, but I was playing a lot there for a while. And it's just like, the more you play, the better you get.
Yeah, exactly. Lads, I don't know if you saw on Twitter there, but there was a bit of beef between Joe Brawley and
I picked up on
Coach John Kavanagh. Now, apparently, Conor McGregor's after getting wind of this, and he had a bit of a reaction for Joe Brawley, and the two of them are actually kind of engaged in a feud there now. So, the door's after just opening there, and you know, McGregor himself has actually just walked in the door. So
a bit of proper 12, I think.
Yeah, a bit proper 12 in hand. So Conor, what's your reaction to Joe Brawley calling out your coach on Twitter?
The smelly shit off his dad. That's what I tell him. Fuck Joe Brawley. Well, I'll fight Conor McGregor any day of the fucking week. I'll tell you that. No, my father does not smell like shit. Joe, I actually thought you were serious there. I was like, I was there picking my phone up. I was like, oh shit. I've been watching this all morning.
Conor,
Like,
come on, you're ruining the illusion here, man.
We're good actors. I'd like to touch a bit on GAA. You've quite a GAA background. First all Mullingar final, county final this Sunday.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
You have a brother on it.
Yeah, full forward. Yeah.
He scored last year.
My cousin's the captain. My uncle's the manager. My brother's the full forward.
With the cousin's cornerback, is he?
Yeah.
Gary.
Eddie.
Sorry.
Where are you from?
Leash.
How old is Grace?
It's fuck yeah. Anyways, this is we had a plan for it. Okay, you weren't actually there for that little production meeting. We said we were going to do 2 truths and a lie, and we were going to say like which one of us is 25, one is I'm 25.
You're 25.
Yeah, 25.
You look younger, man.
Yeah,
That's what everybody says.
But anyways, moving on to the GAA. You, I actually went and I was doing a bit of research. I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously, I couldn't come in unprepared. But
I'm impressed.
The last match report I could find involving yourself was actually a junior match from last year.
A junior match.
Yeah. You were playing Shandunnan and you lost. You scored a few points. You did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where were you playing that time?
Corner forward. What was that in? But that was my last senior game. Oh, no, I couldn't have played. That must have been last year. I played my last senior game 2 years ago. I played corner forward. Yeah.
Were you a nippy corner forward?
Very, yeah.
I'd
be all about the skills.
Yeah.
I kind of find the game has just gone past me now. Like even this year, the boys were like, last year, I was away. And then I didn't play, I got injured, and I didn't really play much. I came back at the end, played a bit of junior. That would have been one of our last games. I think we drew, and we played them in a replay. It was actually good games, however. And then this year, I actually was like, fucking, I'm giving it everything this year. I'm coming back, and like, I'm going to give it me all. And just, I don't know, I very, very bad back. I herniated a couple of discs a couple of years ago, my neck. So anytime I train or do anything, my kind of, I don't know, my neck gets caught. I see a chiropractor a lot. My hamstrings then from my lower back, because I burst 2 discs down there. I got an awful baiting one night off a couple of foreign nationals. Swear to God.
Where was this?
You came out unscathed. 3 big fuckers in a chipper one night. One of them grabbed my then girlfriend, like, or whatever, like, grabbed her chest or whatever. Anyway, a ruckus ensued. And I came out the wrong end of it. I didn't realise there was that many of them there. I thought like there was one fella, and I done the big man on it, and I like
stood up for her honour.
Yeah, and all of a sudden then I got literally fired out the door by about 4 of them, and they were baiting ahead of me outside. And I covered my face so well. Like I was fairly sober. Thankfully, I was sober enough. Covered my face so well, but like I took such a bait, and I couldn't walk the next day. My back was all fucked and stuff. My left arm, I lost all the nerves kind of from those 2 fingers there for about 6 months. All from there to there, yeah. For 6 months were gone. I had a trapped nerve, and the yoke, I just had to let the thing run its course and come back in. When you herniate a disc, it just comes back in. So that happened a few years ago. I had these injuries, and I just could never really train a lot, like compared to like a couple of years ago. And then this year, I said, with the NBC thing happened, I was like, listen, I'm not playing football anymore. I can't afford to like get hurt, even though I've never,
especially junior.
I never got bad words said to me in the pitch.
Oh, that was my next
Doing
question.
this-
Like,
nah.
bit of sledging. You're that fucker.
No, nothing. People come up and go, well then. Well, sure. Like, what was the crack? That was about it. Like, there'd be none of that. And then, so playing that and then this year I give it up. Yeah, but I still feel this is the best the club has been in years. It's unbelievable. The buzz is absolutely like I've had a good year. Like, a lot of like mad shit has happened to me. Like, and last Sunday we beat Thurles Pass in the semi-final. And without doubt, the
Last
best
minute free
feeling,
as well.
the best feeling I've had in years. It was like heroin. Not that I know what heroin is like.
Gav.
I was like, I went out and it was just incredible.
Just for context, Gav played a heroin dealer in a play production of Train Spotting last week. That was the
you're
reference.
not on heroin.
I was actually on about 2 weeks. Never mind.
But and I think if they win, it'll be one of the best days of my life if they win on Sunday. Like, because it's just different. Like, just on a personal level, my uncle's the manager, my cousin's the captain, my brother's the full forward. There's a huge family thing to it. My brother's coming home from America for it. And it's a local derby.
Your brother is recently engaged.
Yeah.
Did you like go interview his man?
No,
or
I
something?
actually.
I'm banging my man.
I'd like to give a bit of credit to Mullingar Shamrocks because you actually run a very good website. But as far as
Tom
GAA clubs
go,
so fair dues to your PRO, whoever it is. You can give him a little thumbs up for me. But I've seen there was actually another guy who.
My cousin Gary got married.
Yeah, that was and he's in New York, is it?
Yeah.
And the other brother is in.
The other brother is full forward.
No.
He was in London.
Oh, okay. Then who's the one that got engaged?
The fella in America.
Okay.
Darren, he went to America about 8 or 9 years ago. He had a degree in law from Griffith or whatever. He's now a personal injury attorney in Manhattan.
Nice. Chasing all the taxis.
Chases ambulances.
Yeah.
You looking to get an invite to the wedding or something?
Who knows?
Conor, do you have a date?
Have I?
Do you have a date for the wedding? Yeah.
No, and I won't be bringing a date to the wedding. If you've seen my brother's girlfriend's friends, they're all from Mexico and they're all absolutely amazing looking. So I'll take my chances on the night.
Fair enough.
There's no point bringing an apple to an orchard, you know.
So, did you play much coming up? What was your main sport coming up, guys?
Oh, football. Yeah, I played like my whole life is just football.
Did you ever come close to county?
Played minor at Westmead. Played under 16 Westmead, under 14 Westmead. I got chopped off before the championship minor. I just was always small. Like, I can 5'6",
Yeah,
best here.
Look who you're talking to.
But like but I was always, some lads like are 5'6" at 14 and just don't grow. I was always the runt, and like, but I was always really kind of fast and nippy and skillful, and I got onto teams that way. But like in terms of just the game, like I remember playing years ago, and I used to love playing football, and it was just me and one fella, and if you roast him, you're fucking laughing. You're going to score 3 or 4 points, 5 points, 1, 2, whatever. Now it's like, I look at it now, even my brother playing the full forward line, he's much bigger than me or whatever, and I'm like, I've no like longing to be out there playing, because
What would you consider your position now? Like the role of the nippy corner forward is kind of long gone, I suppose.
yeah, that fella inside is
certainly.
gone. You need to be kind of big now inside, because there's so many numbers in there. If you get the ball, it's grand if you beat one guy, you know. But
And you have two more guys coming around the
There's a couple of
corner,
guys
yeah.
around you. Like, you need to be powerful. You need to be able to break tackles. Like, I would never have been like that. I was always the fella. I'd dummy solo a fella, get 2 yards of space and pop it over the bar. But now it's like you dummy solo a fella and the other fucker's there behind you, and it's just like there's just too many of them, and it's just such a different game. It's just not as fun. Do you know? It just isn't. And like, that's because there's just more thinkers in the game. Because every manager, like, it's all to do with winning. People get sacked now. You don't really get a chance. So it's results. Get results, and that's the culture of it now, and it's
People
just
take a lot more seriously now, just even diet and
exactly. Like, but
From club level,
the
it's
fun,
changed.
even club level. Sure, like,
Sure,
look at,
what's the preparation like for your own club now with the final?
do you know something? My club hasn't been too bad. My uncle, in fairness, used his head this year. He kind of didn't go. Like, at the start of the year, we were really bad. There was really bad vibe in the club, and we got a new chairman and a brand new committee, a really young, vibrant committee and stuff. And the women in it are just unbelievable. Like, and even now, like, just even for getting money, raising stuff. So
I've actually seen, like they're doing big draw for looking for sponsorship for coming up to the county final and stuff.
Yeah. So we've all. I've thrown some towards me. Cousins have. My brother has.
Actually, actually funny. Two Johnnies on a recent one of their own podcast, they were discussing like if they made it big, what would be the first thing
some money into KRGA?
They throw some money into KRGA, but they get their their face.
Oh yeah, their faces on the
Did you ever see something like that for yourself coming up? Would you like to see the boys?
I've actually given some stuff back to the club and stuff like that, but even like, you know, there was signs going up, but like it's weird. I just wouldn't bother. I suppose I sponsored. They were looking for X amount of money to hire in a full-time coach, so I put some money towards that, but they'd give you a sign on the side of the pitch.
Okay.
But I was like, right, so they were like, what do we put in a Conor Sketches or whatever? I was like, I'm not putting my name on the side of the pitch. I still might go play games and stuff,
Yeah,
I'm not having my name there, so like I put Brolly's Up for Life on it.
Oh, nice.
On the thing or whatever, like, and it was like Brolly got Joe to sponsor a set of jerseys, and Joe put Joe on the jersey instead of, because they took the IE off at the time. He didn't notice, so he rocks in with all these jerseys with Joe on the front of them for his team. And he was looking at me like I was an arrogant bastard. It's not actually me, it's like Joe the website. But yeah, no, I'm blessed. Much of my success is down to the GAA club. It's down to the lads in it. Even I did a video for the European Ryder Cup team a couple of weeks ago for Porter and the boys. And the following day they came out and they made it was a good video. It wasn't brilliant, but to them it was brilliant because I was slagging off them. But if for public consumption it wasn't that funny. So Porter comes up to the press conference, he's like, Conor did a video. It was hilarious. It was amazing. Blah blah blah. Tommy Fleetwood comes out. He's talking about Rory McIlroy's like, the video was blah blah blah. So everyone's like, let's see the video, and I was delighted then because we weren't putting it out. So it was kind of cool that the video was. So then I was like, fuck it, if I did that for them, I'm doing one for my own team. So I did like a 20-minute video there for the club there on Sunday, and we went down to the Park Hotel and just sneered everyone. Like my uncle he got most of it. But that was class, and I'm just delighted that the last time we won the championship, I was in America on a J1, and I stayed out there till the middle of September. The final was on October, probably not the first week. So I'd come back, I didn't even tug for the final. I wasn't there all year, and I remember they won it, and I remember feeling I'm not gonna lie, you're happy for the boys and all that, but you're raging in a way. You feel like you're outside the group and you just can't enjoy it they're enjoying it, and I don't know, you feel like an outsider then. They're after winning something and you're like, fuck it. But this I feel very much a part of this.
Some
I played the league, even doing the video and stuff, anything I was like, anything I can do to help, or I'm mad to do so I just can't wait for Sunday. Honestly, it's
it's not going to be easy. Lomond's going for what, 3-4?
They're going for 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
Leash under 17 manager actually plays with Lomond's.
Oh yeah.
He got transferred up there a couple of years ago. Billy O'Loughlin.
Yeah, he plays. Yeah, Billy.
He was DIT manager for a while with that Aiden O'Shea team. They got to semi-final. Sorry.
No, they're good. Lomond's not unbeatable at all. I would say that defensively they're there to be.
What are you going to do with Heslin?
Nothing. He'll play wherever he plays. John's a brilliant footballer. He's class. You'd be telling people in 20 years' time, I know him personally. He's a sound man as well. But he'll be. People in Westmeath would say, I remember the day John Heslin did this or whatever. He's had some unbelievable performances. Against us, he'll either play full forward with the full back mark, I might say. He play wherever he plays. The person there will just mark him. There'll be no
following him around the place.
Yeah, it's kind of damage limitation with John anyway. John's going to do some damage.
And he's a good record in county finals as well, doesn't he?
He's a good record doing anything. He's a top class player. You can nitpick at all top class players and you can say, this player didn't do that, this, that. John is just a brilliant player, class act, and he's gonna get a few scores, especially frees. He's probably, I think, one of the best in the country kicking frees. But are we going to do it? We're going to do it.
I'm going to ask you, if you can narrow it down, what would be your favourite impressions? Maybe top 3 or something like that to do. Davy Brolly and Lockdown. Yeah. The GAA stuff. See, I write the GAA stuff like that. Bang! It's easy. Yeah. The other stuff, the golf I write easy enough as well. Soccer I find it hard to and then soccer, when you're doing soccer videos, you're dealing with hooligans as well. You know what I mean? You are dealing with proper hooligans. The abuse I get on soccer is unbelievable. I could come out with a video sneering Man United, and all these Liverpool fans would be like, isn't your man brilliant? He's absolutely brilliant. He's amazing, that fella. Next week I sneer Klopp. He's fucking shite. He is the worst impressionist. He's useless. He doesn't sound like anyone. Do you know, you get all this abuse. That's one thing as well, the abuse you get online. I love that.
because I love showing people that. Because I love, like, when someone comes to me, they're like, because I get loads of people, even there during the week, was chatting to a lad, and he's like, wants to do stuff online, but you can tell everyone's afraid. I'd love to just get a picture of some fat fella sitting in front of a computer screen, an ugly fucker, you know, with like tissues beside him ready to go for his next do you know, because these are the trolls you're dealing with, like, and people are afraid to put stuff online because they're afraid of that guy, because they think that guy's going to embarrass them online, like, do you know? And now, don't get me wrong, when I started with Joe, I used to read all the comments and be like, oh, bollocks, like, you know, that fella said I'm shy, and now, like, I love that, and I love shy. I literally, I have them in my phone, I show people, look at that. I was like, that fella,
what's the most ridiculous
what's the worst one?
Some fella hoped what did he hope that? I'm not going to say what he hoped, but anyway, he hoped they died anyway. He wrote me a message one day, and I was sitting there. I was actually with the two Johnnies out on a night out, and I was like half jarred. And I was just about to write to him and abuse him. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Fuck him. Like, what am I even engaging with that clown for? And that's the thing, like, just I always say ignore him. Never write back to him. I remember I did at the start. I wrote back to one or two going, and I seen my brothers writing to him and all, and I was like, geez, we better stop this, like. But I'd never ever write back to him and stuff, and it's like trolls. Even doing what you're doing now, you'll have arseholes walking around going, oh, fucking agents, whatever, like, they're doing nothing. Do you know, or
we get tried for talking about the show. Well, I do. Yeah. I get a lot of shit for talking about the show.
Colm's general greeting is, never gets you out of the show.
No, but still, that's why even when I was reading your thing, I was like, no, I liked it. Like, you guys are doing something different. If I was back in college, I would wish I did stuff like this, because I know I'd be like good at this kind of thing.
One thing,
but I was a bit like that in college, going, I'm not fucking doing that.
One thing I personally, I think we all found surprising is that nobody has. Like, when we started, like, we were obviously interviewing our mates, and then we moved on to the bigger names and
stuff like that. I'm stunned with, like, the names. Michael Lester, Joanne, Ian Dempsey.
Who else we have?
Joe Duffy.
We've had the two Johnnies.
Derek Mooney, Dave
And
Fanning.
have you just emailed them like you emailed me?
Yeah,
literally.
So you've actually
and that's the thing. That's
the talent you have for that then, because I read that, and again, I get them all the time, and I'm just like, most of the time, I'm just like, I just don't have time to do that, like. And I read your one, and I was like, yeah. I want to give this lad a hug.
See, like, it is.
No, just a little pat there. Good boy.
It is like, it was as easy as it was to get our guests on.
We never thought it would.
We never. But as once you started doing it, we got used to it, and now, like, I'll turn to the lads and say, okay, so this week we have such and such, and they're like, yeah, grand, we'll do that. And people, like, we're just so surprised that people haven't done this, that there hasn't been somebody, and particularly in a college like this, DCU, that has a massive media section in terms of courses and in terms of societies. There's loads of stuff you can get into. I'm surprised somebody hasn't turned around and actually done something like this. But
everyone we've done it to, like, anyone we've approached or we have actually interviewed at this stage, even, they've all been so helpful. Yeah. Every one of them.
They get it. They get it. Everyone that we asked, they're like, oh, like, we were, like, amazed that you even replied, and they're like, well, I get it. I was in your shoes before. I was starting out in the industry, and people that I came to, they got it as well, and they helped me in the exact same way I'm helping you.
That was the way. That's what I kind of looked at it, and I remember, like, writing to Brawley and that's the why I will always, like, just have such an affection for Joe, because when I wrote to him, I wrote to loads of people, and everybody just said, "Oh no."
Oh yeah, you were asking
chat
if
you
you
in
could
a few
interview
months.
them.
Yeah. And Brawley just I literally go, "Story, Joe." I ring him up. Well, pal, what about you? Blah blah blah. And I was like, "So, I'm looking to do an interview with me on you. You know, I do an impression of him a lot." Oh wait, yeah, are you Rory Stories? And I was like, no, like, I do the impressions. He goes, oh, Tierney Talks. And I was like, no, like, Conor Sketches, I changed the faces, and then it's just like silence. It's like, alright, pal. And I was like, can I? Yeah, he goes, I tell you what, I'll be in Dublin soon, you know, and I'll give you a shit. Don't point you coming up here. And I was like, telling him, no, I'll go to you, I'll make this easy for you, you know, there'll be no hassle. And he goes, oh, when I'm in Dublin, I'll get on to you. So when I put the phone on, I was like, I'm never going to hear from fucking him again. And on Wednesday night at about 1 o'clock in the morning, because Joe doesn't really sleep at all, he sleeps for like 2 or 3 hours, he sends me a message going, hey, big ears. Big ears, I'm in Dublin on Sunday doing Miriam O'Callaghan's show, you know, if you want to come out to our team, meet me, you know, we can do this thing you want to do. And that was it. I went out there, and just like ye boys, he said to me, yeah, come on out, and he was so helpful to me, and he gave me the best advice I ever got that day. And it helped as well, because I really looked up to Joe. Like, I always liked him. Like, it wasn't that I got to know him and I liked him, I used to love listening to him. Like, I would turn on Sunday game, and I don't know, fucking Saudi Arabia could be playing Cameroon in a Gaelic football match, but if Joe Brawley was talking about it at half time, I was watching it. Do you know? And that's just the way it was. So when he was giving me this advice, and he gave me just such brilliant advice, and that's just kind of how it came about. But yeah, when I read your thing, I just felt I'll do it.
And it's been a great interview. We're about 15 minutes away from this room being used by somebody else. So lads, do you have any more questions for Conor?
Which one of the two Johnnies can handle their beer better, Smacks or B?
Smacks or B? Do you know what? The two Johnnies, they're two cute whores. I haven't seen either of them pissed.
Langers, no.
No. I love the two Johnnies, man.
We went to their live podcast.
Yeah, we went. I went with Greg, and then me and Gavin went the next night as well.
We're not allowed to go to the same
We're
place
actually
as-
going on a kiss tomorrow night.
with them. Ryan's.
Wednesday night. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see you there.
yeah, probably will see you there. They love Ryan's.
Oh, yeah,
I brought Brolly to Ryan's one night. They
Go
brought
away.
up the coppers and stuff, and here's actually good one. It's not actually a funny one at all. But Brolly was walking along. We came out with Ryan's. We were chatting, and Brolly was like, myself and himself just hit it off, like, you know. And we've every time I just can't stop laughing. We're always laughing and stuff, and we have such a laugh. But came out with Ryan's and walked across the street, and we're laughing and joking and messing. He stops, walks over to the corner, and there's a woman on the ground, a homeless woman. So he gets down beside her on his knees, and he's chatting away to her, and she's scratching her nose, and he's what happened to your nose, you know, blah blah blah. I'm kind of half hearing what's going on. And I'm kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like, he's like, Jesus, like, is he going to wash her feet now? You know? And I'm kind of like, you know, and my thing is just I walk past him or whatever, you know, and he was there for a few minutes, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so he gets up and he comes walking over, and I was like, what's the crack with your one, you know? And he goes, well, that's Anne Delaney, you know, blah blah blah, and he knew her by name, and I was like, oh. So I press him on it later on that evening. I'm like, what? We were in Coppers, and I'm like, what story that? How'd you know her? And he goes, I just know her from last Christmas where we went for dinner and stuff. What do you mean you went for dinner? And I ended up finding out Brolly actually, like, he got paid for some job he did in America or something, X amount of thousand, brought that money home, put it behind the bar in Shelburne, and brought an entire homeless shelter for dinner.
Jeez.
Yeah,
What?
and he got to know all these people there. Yeah,
That's amazing.
so that's Joe. You don't even
actually
hear about these things that he does, but that's Joe for you.
That's Joe.
That's brilliant.
I can see a class outside, so unfortunately we're going to have to wrap it up. Conor, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you for the past hour and 20 minutes.
Boys, thanks a million.
You said it wasn't going to run when we said in the room to
I
drink
really
off.
enjoyed it, and boys, best of luck. I love what you're doing.
Thanks
And
very
keep-
much.
Just keep at it. And
This
keep
has
trying
been
everything.
this has been In Conversation with Conor Moore, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you very much for listening.
Good luck.
Bye bye. 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 Bye bye.